Good morning, LinkedIn community. Welcome to another riveting episode of Coffee with Jim and James. Out of the Jim and James, I'm Jim, he's James, and we couldn't be more excited to have this special guest with us, longtime friend. But before we introduce him, I'll just give you a little hint as to what today's going to bring. Now, if that hat doesn't scream Texas,
Crocodile Dundee.
No, Texas.
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah. I wasn't sure who we had on.
We'll get rid of the hat. Let me introduce my co-host, the yin to my yang, the Starsky to my Hutch. Yes, they're always dated, but that's okay. Darrell understands them. Anyways, Mr. James Cross. James, how are you this fine and beautiful morning?
Great, Jimmy. Excited to have Darrell on. For those who don't know Mr. Darrell Cherry, he is the president of the Texas Gas Association and a longtime friend of ours. So, Darrell, welcome to the show.
Welcome, Darrell.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. I think it's a real honor that I get to be between the two ferns. Coffee with Jim and James.
We've been called a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have the opportunity to put the Texas Gas Association out in front of all of y'all's LinkedIn membership. I think we've got a lot of things to be proud of at the association, and a lot of things that a lot of people don't know things about. So we're proud to be here, and thank y'all very much.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yep, and Darrell, let's dive into it. One of the biggest events that we at the TGA hold every year is the O&M conference, and that's upcoming very shortly. So would you give us a little details of the O&M conference and tell our viewers a little bit about that and some of the excitement that is surrounding that event?
The O&M conference is coming up September 22nd through 24th. Like many things other that's going on around us now, it is going to be virtual. We don't want to have that situation where we infect 100,000 people because that's our normal attendance at the O&M conference.
It is.
We have to have it out on the streets for most part, but we're being thrown into this virtual world, and we're finding our way along. The virtual world is sort of one of those situations where it's an old dog in new tricks, and I'm muddling my way through Zoom, trying to find out a way to put this on the best we can. And so far, so good. It looks like it's going to be really exciting. Got some really good speakers. We got folks from the Railroad Commission. We have folks from APGA. We have several good roundtables. You can find all of that on the TGA website, which is texasgas.com. If you'll look tomorrow, it will be there. It's not there right now, but it'll be there tomorrow. And when you commit to these sorts of things, it actually moves it up on your to-do list. So take a look at some of that and see what we have in store. The conference this year is complimentary for all the attendees. It's being underwritten by some of our larger operators, and it's also being sponsored by some of our associate members, so that we were able to monetize the conference as well. I guess we should need to call it a meeting rather than a conference, but we're able to monetize it for us, which was really good because our O&M conference is our second largest fundraiser during the year. So without it, our balance sheet was going to look even worse than it does today. But with the help from all of our folks, we're going to have some money, because the only other way to balance the balance sheet is to reduce expenses, and I'm not a real fan of that at this point in time.
Understood. The same with me. Well, I've been to the O&M, obviously in person, never virtual, but I'm excited to attend that way as well. But O&M's a big deal. I know a lot of folks rely on that to sneak in some training each year, and also to be able to fellowship and spend time with the associate members as well to really get their sampling of the industry each year. So although virtual, I'm excited, and I'm excited that it's at no cost to those that want to attend. I think that's going to be awesome as far as reach goes, Darrell. Oh,
James, when you first suggested that, I thought you were totally insane. And you can, for those of you that knows James, thank him
that's
for the
true.
complimentary attendance rate. I thought he had lost his mind, particularly until I found out a way that we were able to monetize it.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, you're
And
not the only one, that's for sure.
well,
That thinks I'm crazy is what I mean.
I think it's really exciting because we have viewers now that are tuning into this that, maybe from much other states around the world even, that may be interested in this. And with it being complimentary, maybe they could pop in and sit in for an afternoon or a morning or 2 days or all 3 days. Doesn't really make any difference. But I'm really excited to see what the numbers will end up to be with the conference, because I think opening up this way will give people a lot of insight into the TGA. And, for future, you might get people traveling from around the country to our O&M conference every year as a result of this. I'm excited for it. I think good things are going to have happen from this. And I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. So Darrell, let's build on that a little bit. So we're flexing a little bit and going virtual on O&M. What about the rest of 2020? Are there other events? Is there anything else that TGA is doing to try to stay in front of its members and the industry?
We talked about in our board meeting last week how we can move forward. And one of the things that we've talked about is doing our roundtables virtually. A little bit different format than we've used before, maybe a couple of hours a day for 2 days. Putting it on complimentary for the attendees with some sponsorships, I think is a good basis to begin with. Make sure that the sponsors get plenty of face time during the roundtables. And one of the things that we've done, which I'm pretty excited about, is we've moved damage prevention from a subcommittee to a full committee, because I think that's really, really important for the industry. Damage prevention is one of those things that, as safe as we are, and we are an incredibly safe industry considering, every time we do have an incident or accident, it makes all of the media. So moving that up to an area where that we can show that we are looking at that constantly, I think is going to be a feather in our cap and give the damage prevention folks a great opportunity to get their message out, even more than they have in the past.
I just heard about that as well after the board meeting, and I think that's a fantastic change. We're passionate about damage prevention at EWN.
I think there he is. He's back. We just lost you. You're back. You're back. You're good.
So it's going virtual, no big deal,
It
Darrell.
was
Don't
actually
freak out.
it was nice and pleasing there for a second.
Well, what I was going to say was I just heard about the damage prevention committee from Coleman and after the board meeting, and I think that's awesome. We're passionate about damage prevention here at EWN. We remind people all the time our vision is to make the world a safer place to work, and we believe that starts with damage prevention. So we're very active in that space, and we're excited to see that change for sure.
Every day that we can bring our people home safely to see their families, children, their pets, it's a good day for us.
Amen.
And that's certainly true for the free world out there, the folks that are not in the industry that we depend on for our existence. It's absolutely important that everybody goes home safe.
You bet.
Darrell, let me ask you a question. Myself being an ex-board of directors member for the Texas Gas Association, and I've been a member since you and I were young. We had full heads of hair and we were about 40 pounds. Well, you're lighter now, but we were about 40 pounds lighter. The TGA has come a long way. And I know that it is because of the operators and associates and everybody that's involved with it. You mentioned earlier that you were a little concerned this year being virtual and, a little concerned about the revenue stream because we're funded by our members, basically. What we bring in is what we get. How bad have your concerns been, if we can dive a little bit more into that? But more importantly, I just want to then transition into all the good things that we do, like this damage prevention. How many operators come to our conferences to, learn things that can make their teams or their subcontractors better and safer. So kind of two paths to go down, but I thought those would be both interesting for our viewers today.
One of the things that we have a video on our website that EWN was gracious enough to provide for the association. And one of the things we talk about in that is that the O&M meeting has a great opportunity to learn from others. But one of the singularly best things that happens at the O&M meeting are the sidebars that take place where people go out in the halls, talk about the things that they have in common, the problems that they have, the solutions they have. One of the things that I always preach is, for crying out loud, don't let somebody go down a dead end. If you found something that doesn't work, share that with everybody. Don't let them go down the same dead end. If you've got something that works excellently, that's a great thing to share as well. But letting them spend time and effort going down a dead end is so counterproductive. And that's one of the great things we get. And that's one of the things that I've really wrestled with in this virtual reality that we're in right now, is how we get 5 or 7 people together to talk just amongst themselves without having presentations or things like that. And I think we're coming to some thoughts on that. And I think it would be great for us to have a minor Zoom meeting where 4 or 5 people come together and talk about, why did you send everybody home why were you able to send everybody home safely last week? What worked for you, what didn't work for you? If you had an accident, what was to be learned from that accident? Yep. And we've been very fortunate to have people share that kind of information in the past.
Yeah. Well, Darrell, I have a very special question for you that we've actually been wrapping a lot of our shows with, and you didn't get the opportunity to prep for it. So
wait,
that means it's a good one.
Wait, we lost him again.
The question is perfect. I can answer that.
I think he's back. And again,
virtually.
Oh, that's all right. This is a product of where we live today. We are in different locations, multiple states, working on, ready for this, broad bandwidth.
Nope.
James just used that term. But anyways, James, you're back with us now. You're back.
Well, this is a product of my son playing Fortnite. I can promise you that. But the real question for you, Darrell, is, do you love what you do?
I absolutely do. I've been doing this since 2004. I was a salesman at the time. I've been in the association for a long time. And I realized the good that can come from the association, the good that came to me from being there. And we had a few issues at the time that were problematic, and I thought that it would be a good opportunity, and I thought that it would be fun to try. And as it worked out, we've done really well. To be honest, if this pandemic and shutdown had have happened in 2004, we would have already been gone. I worked for nothing practically at the time. I signed on for a 30-hour week, which ended up being about 60 or 70. And none of that's a complaint because I love what I do and I love being where I am. I admit it too frequently to folks, but it's fun. I've enjoyed watching the association grow. I've enjoyed watching all of our membership grow. Just another little pitch for the association. Our operators represent over 99% of all the meters in the state of Texas. So for any associates watching this, if you want to do business in Texas, we're a good place to do it because we've got a lot of the membership. We don't have 99% of the operators out there, but we've got a heck of a lot of them. So come on and see us, and we'll show you how to make this work for us and for you.
Amen. And that's all I got, Jimmy.
That's all right. Let me wrap this up. I have a few things to say. First of all, to Darrell and James, we're longtime friends, all of us. We've been together for years at Transmission Roundtable, Distribution, Safety Roundtable, O&M. We slap each other's back. We give each other hugs. We're there to carry boxes to help each other. And I tell you, I miss you, Darrell, and you miss everybody. And we're going to miss everybody at the O&M Live. We'll be back, but I think there's a lot of things, again, we can learn from this virtual world that we're going through, and we're going to make it the best that we can. And so I'm excited for that. But I do want to encourage all of our viewers today to please go to the website, click on register. It's complimentary, even if you pop in for an hour, 2 hours, a segment. James and I are going to host the happy hour, virtual happy hour, the first night, Tuesday night, the 22nd at 4:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is a shameless plug, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But really, just come and enjoy it. I would say you will probably learn something from it. And it's a great organization. Even other associations, other state associations are going to attend too, which is great. There's a lot of camaraderie in our world. And so it'll be fun seeing people from the other states nearby attending our conference. So with that, I want to say again, special thank you to Mr. Darrell Cherry. It has been a pleasure having you on. James, as always, my friend and brother, I couldn't do it without you. You're the one that picks me up every day. I appreciate you like there's no end. And all of our viewers out there, God bless you and God bless our industry. Everybody, please stay safe. And we look forward to seeing you next week on another episode of Coffee with Jim and James. Until then, everybody take care.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Darrell.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Darrell.
much.